Hello, my name is Marc-André Lancio, and I'm a developer at the ImpressCMS project. And today I would like to welcome you to the IPF Webcast session, the first one, which we will be introducing the ImpressCMS Persistable framework, more commonly known as the IPF. Since it's our first webcast, I would like to take the opportunity to explain a little bit about the ImpressCMS history. So first, we started in December 2007. We were originally 30 well-known contributors to the Zoops open source content management system, and we decided to start a new fork called ImpressCMS. The focus was to develop a community management system as opposed to develop a content management system. So it's basically a content management system, but with real focus on community features. On January 8, 2008, it was our first release, and nearly 2 years later, November 22nd, 2009, we released ImpressCMS 1.2 RC1, which was our 30th release since the first one. According to Olo.net, we are a very large active development team, and over the last year, 43 developers have contributed, which is a lot. And according to Olo, we are in the top 2% of all their projects that are the most active, which is, again, very cool. In October 30, 2008, so last year, we were lucky enough and we won the third place on the PACT Award Most Promising Open Source CMS. Very nice. And in November 11, so a few weeks ago, this year, we won the first place of the Most Promising Open Source CMS by PACT Award. As of December 1st, 2009, more than 9,000 commits were made in the ImpressCMS core SVN, which demonstrate the level of activity we have on our project. Okay, so more about the IPF. So IPF stands for ImpressCMS Persistable Framework. It originally came from Smart Object Framework, a module that was developed by the Smart Factory a few years ago. And the whole idea behind that was that every time the Smart Factory was developing a new module, we were always redoing the same thing over and over again. So we decided to put that in a single standalone module, which which we will use and reuse all the features for other module. So the main goal were to address 80% of common task of most module. As we know, every module needs the same thing. They all need to list object, edit object, filter object, add object. It's always the same thing. So 80% of all the common tasks, we put that directly into the framework, so the ImpressCMS Persistable framework. Another goal was to enable easy and rapid development. So instead of rewriting all of those features that are common to all modules, you just write a single line of code or two or three, and you get what you need without having to recode everything. Third goal was to reuse code wherever possible. Centralization, easy maintenance, and we of course use less resources doing that. And a few concepts that led to the development of that framework was, of course, dry, don't repeat yourself. So why repeating code when we can encapsulate this and reuse it? KISS, keep it simple and stupid. So basically, every time we have more than one options to use, we will always use the simplest one. So less coding, less maintenance, always keep it simple. Finally, convention over configuration. The idea was instead of having 10 different ways to configure something, we will adopt a convention, and the convention would be what we believe would be the mostly used by 80% of our user. We make it a convention, and it's far easier to develop, maintain, and code. The IPF main features. So as I said earlier, the goal is to have in the framework 80% of what we need when creating a module. And we always need the same thing. We need to create, edit, delete object. We need to list them, sort them, filter, display single object. We are also supporting events like before insert, before update, after delete, all those kind of events. So with a few lines of code, we are able to use those events. We are supporting exporting object, and of course, we manage permission on objects, so it is possible for a developer to manage any kind of permissions on his objects. The search, of course, is integrated. We also support the RSS generation, automatic creation and update of database table. This is very nice because you basically declare the fields that you want to use in your object, and when you update the module, the IPF will compare your structure with what you actually have in your database, and it will take care of adding, editing, or dropping any fields. So you actually don't need to write an SQL script to maintain your database. It is maintained directly by ImpressCMS Persistable Framework. We also have an object registry. So for example, if we are fetching from the database a few objects, then those objects will be cached. And if we need them again, we won't need to query the database again. They will be made available to use without any queries to the database. We're also managing any common fields for an object. Many objects have the same kind of field. We often need a meta keywords field, a meta description field, a short URL, a counter. So all those kind of fields are easily manageable by ImpressCMS Persistable Framework. So this was the basic presentation of what ImpressCMS Persistable Framework does. Now I would like to show you a few examples of what it looks like.